Hey, well, today I'm angry because not enough of us are scared about an existential threat that we are facing. And I'm not talking about these little skirmishes between Black Lives Matter and All Lives Matter and Blue Lives Matter, or pro-life and pro-choice. I'm talking about the fate of the United States itself, the existential crisis that we are facing. And that crisis is the fact that we are doing everything we can to destroy the value of the dollar. You know, this theme of angry as senior, I'm not angry representing seniors' interests. I'm just a senior, and I happen to be angry about many unfair things. The thing that makes me most upset is when I see policies that are designed to make life worse for my kids and their kids and their kids. This is not about me. This is about the society we leave behind. We are destroying our currency by printing it out of thin air. When we create money that we send out to people because of an emergency, or we create money that we send out to companies to keep them in business, this is extremely unhealthy for the economy. Here's an example of a country that created money, and if you look at this measurement, it seemed like it worked out pretty well. The Zimbabwe Stock Exchange went from 250 to 2,000 over a 2-year period. Does that ring any bells for us here in the United States, looking at the Federal Reserve and their efforts to levitate our stock market? What nobody seems to consider is the fact that the reason that the Zimbabwe stock market did so well is because the currency depreciated dramatically in value. If you look at this chart, this is not a normal chart. This is what's called a logarithmic chart. And each bar higher, each line higher, is 10 times the previous level. So if you look at the bottom, you can see 1, 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000, and on up, until you get to a point that I don't even know what the word is for the top line, which is a 10 with 22 zeros after it. That's what happens when the currency loses value. Now, things start out quite normally. The currency loses value. The economy seems to do well because exports are more productive. The stock market goes up because it's being measured in units that are smaller. So for the short term, inflation, because this is what we're describing, seems to be a positive thing. This is what it ends up as. This is somebody in Zimbabwe. I don't know what he's buying. I haven't seen pictures like this since pictures of the German currency collapse in the Weimar Republic in the 1920s that is. But here we are in Zimbabwe with wheelbarrows full of cash to buy basic goods. How does something like this happen? First of all, this is amusing. Here's a $50 billion note from Zimbabwe. And the reason that I bring this up and the reason that I say that this is applicable to our situation is because of this fact. This is from David Stockman, and he points out that in the year 2014, total US government spending was a little less than $4 trillion. That is the total of all spending. This year, fiscal year, we are looking at a greater than that amount of deficit spending, the difference between spending and receipts. We're going to end up rich beyond belief, measured in dollars, but unable to buy anything with them. The history of nations that have attempted to create money by printing it goes back hundreds of years, and in each and every single case, the result has been too much money printed and the money losing value. Period. There's no way to avoid it. If you have an island and there are 2 coconuts for sale, each costing $5, and there's a total of $10 on the island, if a suitcase with $100 washes ashore, the price of each coconut will become $50. It's obvious. This is self-explanatory. But Federal Reserve and politicians hope that we are dumb enough that we don't even notice the fact that the unit of measurement keeps getting smaller. Since the Federal Reserve was created in 1913, I think the dollar's lost like 98% of its value. Why do you think it is that a movie theater ticket used to cost $0.25 and now costs $15? Is it because of plush seating and tremendous sound systems? No, it's because your dollar buys less. It's as if you said this building is 100 feet tall and then you defined a foot to be 11 inches. And you said, oh my God, look at the growth in this building, it's tremendous. This is sheer sophistry and artifice. Why are we falling for it? For how much longer will the world accept these pieces of paper with drawings on them? That's the only difference between one piece of paper and another. It has a different drawing on it. Our credibility is at stake. Countries throughout history have learned this lesson the hard way. Surely we have enough examples that we can look at them and see where we are going. Please, this is the most important issue we face. Please wake up.